Barber College Success, brought to you by Craig Charles of Crown Cutz Academy, JC, Johnson City that is, and Crown Cutz Academy, Bristol, Virginia. And now also Proficient Nail Academy, downtown Johnson City. Spreading love is the Tri-City way. But pull that back. Rewind. Spreading love, the only way is the Crown Cutz way. We got a banging episode today. We're going to talk about nutrition. But before we do that, I'm going to bring in my homies from the left. Okay, here he pointing them out.
I know,
that
right?
That's like
it was aggressive.
That's an aggressive point.
No, like, you could. Bill Clinton did the thumb. He do like that. Am I Fields? Am I your barber, Marion, Virginia? Am I's Barbershop?
Jordan Barr from Bristol, Tennessee, 423 Studios. Hope you're having a good day.
Yes, sir. And our guest, introduce yourself, guest. Are you nervous?
I'm nervous.
What?
A little nervous.
Put you in the spot. Introduce yourself.
My name is Wendy. I am the owner of Alfa Workspace. I am a local author. So you're welcome. You're in front of a local author.
Okay.
Big time.
I'm a cake artist. I make vegan cakes. My whole business is based on plant-based eating, whole food eating, healthier eating alternatives is what I like to say about them.
So we're going to intersect and put both of those together. But I just found out something interesting. We're in 80, how many countries now?
Let me look with Mitch's text so I don't get corrected again.
Oh, man.
I think it was, 85 countries.
85 countries around the world. Shout out to Barber College Success. That's the crowd noise.
85 countries. I couldn't even name 85 countries.
85 countries. How do you feel about that?
That's crazy. Honestly, I didn't even know there was 85 countries. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You didn't know there was 85 countries?
I didn't.
I can't name 85 countries.
I can't. So I'm saying I can't name all.
But think about that. How much we've grown, how much we're spreading around the globe.
85 countries. I mean, it's weird. It's hard to fathom. We need to visit these countries. That'd be lit.
I know. Get on tour and do like a show.
That's what I'm saying.
That'd be dope.
So our top countries again.
Wendy can get us on tour at Honduras. We go to Honduras.
That was the last. How ironic is that? That's on the list.
That was the last one on the list today.
Yeah, and that's where Wendy's from.
We about to get an extra % after today.
But thinking about the United States, the UK, Canada,
Australia,
and Iceland. That's our top 5 countries.
Check it out.
That is impressive.
Yep, Germany's creeping up on them.
Germany.
Germany.
Puerto Rico's creeping up.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about. We spreading love around the globe.
We got some Dominica out here too, man.
Yes. Shout out. But seriously, what do you think about it? Do you think that's impressive?
I think that's dope, bro. As far as that we came from the beginning, which I mean, you was already starting before I came,
right.
But still, just from the point I started to now, it's amazing.
So what do you think about that when you hear that, just hearing that, the reach that we have? What do you think about that?
To make you more nervous.
I feel that we all have to start somewhere.
Right.
And I commend you for being able to get to 85 countries, or your crew and stuff. So
yeah, we just celebrated 150th episode like couple episodes ago, 3 episodes ago. And that was a big milestone for us. But today we're going to talk about vegan food. So how did you become interested in vegan cooking? And what made you decide to pursue that profession?
Well, first I want to shout out my parents' country, Honduras. That's where they're from.
So we were saying it wrong the whole time, Honduras.
Well,
Honduras.
I'm Hispanic, so I say it how I say it.
You got to roll it.
But the reason I'm mentioning that is because the inspiration to what I do comes from Dr. Sebi.
Okay.
Which there's a whole...
He is from Honduras, right?
He is from Honduras.
I didn't know he was from there.
Most people think like, and most people only think that like there's no dark-skinned Hondurans. And that's...
No, yeah. There's a whole... Obviously, we're all mixed.
Right.
I don't want to say this might be mean, but us Latinos were considered mutts because we kind of come from everywhere. But we definitely have Afro-Latinos is what it'll be called.
African descent.
Yes, and then Dr. Sabi is he was born in Honduras, but he is from African descent. So.
Right. So that's major. Shout out to all the Honduras barbers out there. Check us out. Send us a message. Send us a shout out. And if you out there and you're Honduran barber would like to get on the podcast, we'd like to get you on there. We'll do an interview with you and put you on. I mean, in celebration of Miss Wendy, but that's big. So you said I didn't think. That is true. Do you know who Dr. Sebi is?
Jordan,
I don't think so. No.
I feel like the population will probably know about him through Nipsey Hussle.
Nipsey.
Before he passed, he was trying to put out a documentary on him.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, nah, yeah.
So that's the culture brought him back through. I think Nipsey brought that back, but Dr. Sebi is like from way back when, the 80s. Pretty great philosophers.
The most interesting fact I heard about him was he was taken to the Supreme Court by I think it was pharmaceutical companies about curing AIDS and cancer,
Yes.
and he actually won that case.
Wow,
Yeah.
and that's not even out there.
No, I mean this is what they say. Like I mean, that he cured. This is that case was back in the 80s, I believe, or late 80s, where HIV was high, and yes, he cured a bunch of people. People came and testified, agreeing that he did cure them through the food, which is what inspired me to become the chef that I am right now.
Right. So I'm going to relate this to barbering and just anybody that's a college, just really any student. So, many students are like live on a tight budget. What are some affordable, accessible vegan ingredients and recipes that students could try?
It's a good question. First of all, you should not buy the vegan products that say vegan, the ones at the store, because those are the expensive ones.
Right.
And that would be considered more like a junk vegan, like a junk food vegan, I guess, because
Almost processed.
those are so processed. People always ask me, like, is it expensive to be, and I don't want to say vegan, I'll say plant-based or whole food.
Okay.
Eating.
I'll correct myself.
No, it's fine. Just because I think whole foods, you're eating literally vegetables and fruits, and you're creating things out of them, or like nuts or legumes, or however you say it. And you're just creating things out of food, like legitimate food. So
because one of the key things that me and Emma was talking about is the longevity of barbers. We have a really good industry, and one of the key things in longevity is nutrition and exercise. So by you coming on this podcast, it gives the casual observer or the barber out there who's looking for some nutritional advice and options to get on track. And because I know it's difficult sometimes, because as a barber, we tend to try to grab something quick, like a milkshake, go to a fast food joint, burger and fries or something like that. But there are options out there for you.
Jordan had to drive to the barbecue spot right down the road. That place was lit.
Yeah, I'd walk there as soon as I get done with the appointment, walk down the street, come right back, eat, and then next to the appointment.
That's your plan based.
I've been on this journey for a minute, though. I mean, I'm trying to get. I'm fluffy now, but I'm less fluffier than I've been a year ago.
I'm trying to get right.
So what kind of ingredients do you recommend for someone on a budget?
Well, we're in a room full of men, and I would say men think differently when it comes to food.
Right.
And that's kind of like a stereotype.
Okay.
Even through Dr. Sebi, he's a man, and he highlights how eating specific foods in general just create a healthier inside, which then can create a healthier outside. So I would say that obviously the industry has put on how, and this is all, a bunch of men in here, but like,
you good?
How meat
your stuff.
Meat is meant to like give men power and like give protein and like muscles, but there's a man like Dr. Sebi or Dr. Aris Latam, which is a Panamanian philosopher. He's also still alive. He's in his 70s, and they were physically great. Or he is, Dr. Aris is still alive. They look physically great. Like they're constantly eating fruits. They're also from the tropical area, so they have access to fresher foods.
Plenty of vitamin D.
Yes, and the sun. And also culturally, like, Black communities and Hispanics were mixed, so we have melanin, meaning we need the sun. So in this specific area, I had to kind of readjust how to eat also, because we lack sun in the winter months.
Right.
So to answer your question, I would say that there's no one thing I can tell you.
Right.
I feel like everyone has a journey with food. I know I've had my own journey. Just being here, I come from Miami, so I'm used to the sun. Being here, I had to get used to the winters, and I had to kind of change my diet in the winters too.
Okay.
So I can't, that's a kind of like a hard question to answer, because there's no one or two things to give you.
So what kind of tips you can offer them to maintain?
I mean, I intermittent fast a lot, meaning I wake up, drink a lot of hot water or with lime or a tea. and I don't eat for, let's say, from like 6 to about 11. That's a good way to start. That kind
6
of
in the
helps.
morning to 11 in the.
And in the morning, like lunchtime. That would be one way you can kind of start is intermediate fasting, which you're allowing your body to kind of like digest or detox things that your body already has. I know for students it's hard, especially after studying and stuff, but for me, that's something that helps me. And that's why I tell people, like, you have to go through your own journey with food. Like, you kind of have to discover what works best for your body type too, and your like ethnicity and your background and stuff.
What about alcohol?
No alcohol.
Zero alcohol.
I mean, alcohol in general is a depressant. I know when I drink alcohol, I still drink alcohol. I know the next day I don't feel my best, especially because I do eat a certain way already. So I think my body rejects it because it just knows it's not good for me. So it's like an individual journey. And you said something interesting, drinking warm water and lime. What does that do for you? So in Ayurveda science too, and Dr. Sebi will speak on this as well, it just basically helps you digest your body in the morning. It helps you're dehydrated when you're sleeping, and when you wake up, you need something to hydrate you. So drinking this kind of helps you flush out whatever is in there, which meaning your bowel movements. And it just kind of helps your body wake up in a way it's supposed to, I guess. Right. Instead of like rushing and getting like a heavy meal. Like I know in America we're big on like eggs and like breads and meats in the morning. And through these philosophies, they believe that this is not the way to eat. It kind of slows you down instead of waking you up. But again, these are all like my versions of it in a way. And what I've learned, my research, and that's why I'm looking at all of these, man.
No, you're good.
Like, what's she talking about?
Nah, it's dope. Like, I think like this content, right? This is amazing to listen to. And then like in my mind, my question is, okay, so to where would I go to get this crash course? Where is a place that I can go and get the basic information? Like, do you have any suggestions? Maybe run across some. You're an author. Maybe there's a book. I was listening to like a murder mystery over there. Stressed out.
Where we gonna get into that book at the end?
Oh, my bad.
Because she do got she remember she said she's a world-renowned writer.
Local author.
So, but that's a good question though. So how can you incorporate more plant-based meals into your diet? Because it's not something that you can just do overnight.
You can't.
So
I did.
Yeah, just cold starting, like boom.
Well, I would say definitely. Again, because we're in a room full of men, there's a specific documentary called Game Changers that highlights vegan.
I've seen that.
It's really based on plant-based eating for athletes, especially because men are more athletic. They're just built that way. And it shows you through history how many athletic people were vegan or plant-based and how their performance was like higher than people that ate probably meat or processed food or something.
The GOAT Tom Brady is probably one of those.
He had to be. He just looks like he's vegan.
I don't think he is vegan. Like Chris Paul, I just learned he is vegan. He just became vegan. Like not the.
He need to do something.
His knees, bro. His knees and his ankles.
Oh, sorry.
That's one way to kind of get started, which is how I learned about it back in college. I took a nutrition class in college in 2010, and they had us like watch certain documentaries on food, and that was one of them. Not that one, excuse me. It was Cowspiracy, I think, and the Super Size Me movie. So I would say a good way to start is watching some documentaries. If it interests you, there's a bunch everywhere. Another way would be, obviously, like I mentioned, Dr. Sebi, YouTube. There's a bunch of videos on Dr. Sebi. There's videos on Dr. Aris Latam. He's actively on Instagram as well. So he's always going live, speaking on food. He talks about like, instead of water, he drinks coconut water, because he just feels that's just more nutritious. But again, these have been people have been doing it for like over 50 years. So
did you go to school for nutrition?
I did not. I originally went to school for baking and pastry, Johnson & Wales in Miami, because I wanted to become a cake artist, which I did. And then so that was my like school lean. And then this whole food thing kind of came about after like 2015, 2016 when I went vegetarian. So
what do you think, Jordan? Have you ever thought about that? Eating clean? Do you ever think about eating clean?
He's just small.
I've tried. I've ate at a vegan restaurant before, and it was good. It's really good.
I mean, this is a vegan restaurant in Asheville. It's called Laughing Seed, I think. Laughing something. I don't know.
Laughing Seed.
It is?
I worked there for a little bit. I was the vegan pastry.
I mean, the food is amazing, man. I'm like, when I go there, I get this like pastrami sandwich. It's made out of like sweet potato.
So it's good. The
That's
sandwich
like-
is good. Yeah.
That is like one of the best sandwiches I've ever had.
One thing
thinly sliced sweet potatoes.
one thing that I just seen, because when Dr. CB came out with the whole Nipsey Hussle thing, I went down this whole, spiraling whole dark hole of this conspiracy things and all this stuff. So it seemed like there was a lot of supplementing. So do you have to supplement a lot with being a vegan, or is that something that, what do you think?
So I don't.
Okay.
Like I said, I've been vegetarian since 2016, kind of more on alkalines. But so this is alkaline plant-based eating, which is what Dr. Sebi teaches. And this is based on the Afro-biochemical that he believed in. Kind of like we all came from Africa. So he's like, this is the original way that we're supposed to be eating. I would say that for me, living here, I come from, like I said, I come from Miami, so I'm used to having the sun year round, but living here had been hard the first winter here, because I was specifically only eating alkaline food, let's say, and I had to relearn how to eat in the winter.
Right.
Because that's kind of, Dr. Sebi is in the tropical area. Mm-hmm. So for me, no, I haven't ever really supplemented anything. Because I don't have to. I guess my body, again, I got used to it. So I kind of like, if I feel a certain way, I just kind of know what to eat. I think my body would just tell me what to eat at that point. So.
And so let's clarify it. There is a difference between vegetarian and vegan.
Yes.
What's the difference?
So being vegetarian, that means that you're still eating cheese, eggs, dairy. That's it. You're not eating fish. You're not eating meat, pork, chicken. Vegan would be, or plant-based would be there's no dairy at all. No meat at all.
So to simplify it, plant-based and vegetarian, really. And it's not vegan. The best word for it is plant-based, because you'll be able to decipher it quicker and understanding that once it's from the plant, once it's from the earth, once it's from the ground, it's really more natural and organic.
Yes.
Opposed to having cheese and other processed stuff that people, so as far as like vegan cheese, is that plant-based?
No, I don't use that. That's because it's made, probably maybe sometimes the cheeses they make now are made with cashews. Mm-hmm. But if it's in the store, they're probably like done with something that has some sort of process. That's why it's at a shelf, let's say. But for me, like, I make everything from scratch. Like, I'll make a cheese out of like butternut squash or something, or out of sunflower seeds. But to answer the original question that I've been trying to answer about students, how they can even get started, I would say that something Dr. Arias Latam says, he says that we don't dedicate time to cook anymore. We're just on the go all the time. And I understand barbers have to do that. That's kind of like your industry. Or students have like
beauticians, nail techs.
Yes. Right.
Everybody. So, estheticians.
Right. So you guys are always on the go all the time. So for me, I think to be able to eat a certain way clean, just dedicate that time, like at least once a week, where like you set that date to specifically prep for the week. I tend to prep a lot. I mean, naturally, that's just what I do. But it helps me. It helps me be able to have a meal all the time.
Right.
And I have a 5-year-old, so with him, I don't always have the time technically. So I prep a lot. Right. It just helps me kind of like still eat clean and not have to run to the store if I get like hungry, not like snack on chips. I have just always something to eat. So just prepping your meals beforehand, at least once a week, I would say would probably be the easiest way to be able to eat a specific way. That's kind of like your,
What's your day? You said that. Did you have a day, or is it like multiple days, or how's it work?
So
you're good.
So for me, I feel like I'm constantly prepping something. Like today I made a raspberry jam at my house, and that's like, it's going to last me for 2 weeks because my son loves peanut butter jelly sandwiches. I don't have a specific day because I dedicate time to cook, but that's me. And I do have a job and I do have other things going on, but that's just how it works in my household.
So something that's came to mind. So like prepping, if you have a food that's probably, you think that the shelf life on that food is getting ready to leave, prep that food.
Yes, absolutely. Like, I don't know.
Because it helps. Yeah. Instead of waiting, because I know one of my friends, she always talk about her and her household, they don't waste food.
No, I'll freeze things before they go bad. Like if my basil's going like brown, I'll freeze it because I can then blend it into something, Like,
right. So be creative.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
I get that. That makes sense. I mean, and those little tips like that kind of help because sometimes people have like some bananas and they'll just toss them. And you could probably use like bananas at their stage where they're about to evaporate. You could probably use that to make a banana bread or something.
You can, yeah. You can definitely freeze them. So I don't use bananas because through Dr. Sebi's philosophy,
No seeds, no seeds.
no seeds. Anything, any fruit that has no seeds, he's like, don't eat it.
But there are some bananas with seeds I've seen though.
I like bananas.
Bananas.
I didn't know we can't rock with, but you can't rock with bananas.
I mean, he talks about burro bananas, which are meant to be the original banana. Which,
I think I heard about that. Yeah.
yeah. So those you can find locally here at Spice World.
What is it called?
Some burro bananas, BURRO.
What do they look like?
They're just smaller.
They look like bananas, correct?
What they look like?
They're green and then they turn, yellow. But
I know, but I did see somewhere where a banana had a seed.
I mean, you tell me where they're at because I don't know where they're at.
I seen some.
We got to dissect some bananas later.
I mean,
I thought it did too. I ain't gonna lie to you.
What?
But I thought banana had
You thought banana had a seed in it?
I didn't think that they had a seed. I just heard someone say.
Yeah, I
seen it.
thought they did.
Nah.
I just ate it. I didn't even look at it really.
Let's see how the raw the podcast is. That's what it's about. Raw information. That's what's up, though.
I always had a thought like with the plant-based eating, like biblically, when we, in my perspective from my religion, but like from what I believe, of course, there's a Garden of Eden, there's Adam and Eve, and then God said, tend to the field and take care of the trees and things. We didn't eat meat at that time. Before the fallout of man, before we had to, that was actually probably easier than to wait on things to grow, because then we had to till the world, because in the Garden of Eden, we just had fruits and vegetables everywhere. But then when we had to start growing stuff ourselves, it's like, okay, I can wait for this corn to grow, or I could go bust that rabbit real quick and then go get something to eat. And like maybe out of necessity, the human beings started eating meat. That's a thought that I had, because like I said, when I went to the Dr. Sebi, like spiraling hole when everything happened, like that's one thought that I had. Like it made so much sense because we weren't originally designed to eat meat as human beings. So
I mean, we've definitely evolved as humans, obviously. Historically, whether everything has evolved us. So this was like talking about like Adam and Eve time. This like way back when. So much has changed. But yes, Dr. Sebi believes, Dr. Arisatam do believe, they both believe that the earth can nourish us. We don't need to do all this extra stuff.
So pronounce that guy's name again. Everybody knows Dr. Sebi. The other guy, slow it down and pronounce his name.
she's flowing.
Dr. Aris Latam. He's from Panama.
Okay.
He's another black Panamanian. Speaks Spanish. Lives in Panama. He's still alive. He's on Instagram. He's actively. He has what's it called? The retreat specifically for. He does raw food, and that's a whole different thing. So it's these specific men.
No seasoning. No seasoning.
No, of course.
No
there is
cook.
seasoning. No cooking. No cooking. That's what that means.
Oof.
But
He's
it's
tough.
I think when
Eating the squash raw.
well, no, you can dehydrate stuff. There's ways. It's just
Dang.
it's I mean, I've done raw foods and honestly it's not that hard.
So here's the question though, right? I love sweets. And we all love sweets. And plant-based, you think about sweets like mangoes, dates, but how healthy can you make like a cake or some type of pastry or just plant-based? Or it's not going to be as healthy as you kind of see the question I'm getting at.
Well, to begin, I would say that the reason why we're craving sugar, there's an underlying reason why we're craving sweets, and it has nothing to do with like wanting it. It has to do with something internally wants us to get that sugary item.
Right.
Because we have access to it.
Right.
Like you said, back in the day, mango, like you said, dates, those were our original
dates are fire.
Desserts, if anything, but man made desserts, right?
So I remember one day, right, true story. So M.I. was at the grocery store, right? And he said, guess what I'm getting? I said, dates. He's like, how do you know?
I was like, it was so random because I was like in the grocery store. I could be anywhere in the grocery store. I could be. I'm talking about Food City. There's so many aisles, and I'm in the vegetable section. I said, Craig, that's what I'm about to get. And this man, they got it in my hand. I'm like, how does this? I'm looking around on my shoulder. Sometimes he'll show up to Marion randomly, and I just knock on my door.
What are dates? What do they look like?
It's like prunes.
They're like prunes.
Big prunes.
They're prunes. They're usually
good.
have seeds, but they're sweet. They're naturally sweet.
They are
fruits.
good.
You can
They're
get
very
it
good.
under the bananas. They have them. Usually, that's where they keep them. If you go to Food City, right under the bananas, where they keep the dates. They got.
To answer your question about cakes and stuff, because I make cakes, and I know that the world needs cakes. We eat cakes.
What the world needs now
is cakes. Obviously, kids love cake, and that's what we're used to as a society to celebrate with a cake for the most part. Just alternatives as far as sweeteners. I would say that anytime you try to switch something out, it's gonna have either a different texture, a different like flavor, and as something like I said, when you start developing this internal like process with the food that you're eating, your body kind of gets used to it and it starts rejecting things. It starts accepting things. So if you're here trying to alternate your sweetener, like let's say I use agave and date syrup also when I make stuff, it's just your body is like just getting used to it. So it's a process. I'd say everything is a process with your body. I would say you still can have cake, but again, because I know you like cake.
Moderation.
Not moderation, just knowing that at that moment, which is why the cakes that I make have still pure cane sugar. I use regular all-purpose flour. I do use like flaxseed to make the egg alternative, but the intention I have is this is only for let's say this birthday, and that's it. That's for that one day. So eating with intention too kind of helps understand, like your body understand like, what you're putting in it.
Eating with intention. You can't have a birthday cake every month.
No, I mean you can, but you're eating.
What if you go to other people's birthdays?
But they also they say also in Ayurveda science, which is what another inspiration that I got the way that I cook. They believe that when you eat with intention, like if you say, I'm going to eat this burger, like you said, as a barber, you go and eat this chicken down the street or whatever, and you know in the back of your mind, like, oh, this is going to affect me later, it's full of grease, whatever, it's going to affect you. It's like kind of like in your mind, like you're making it real that's going to affect you later. But in Ayurveda science, they believe that if you eat knowing it's going to, like almost like you're praying for your food. And you're kind of saying like, this is going to nourish me. Like, you know, it's not the best option, but you know, it's going to nourish you regardless. That's what they say, like, just do that with your food. So with cake, I know it's going to nourish me at this moment for this party with the kids or whatever.
Right.
So.
Yep. How can incorporating more plant-based meals into your diet positively affect your overall health and well-being, including mental clarity and focus, which is essential for what we do?
Yeah, what you do as humans. Yeah, I would say that intermittent fasting, that's just plain lime, water, or herbs in the morning. That for me, it kind of almost stops my hunger. It makes me not hungry, which then helps me makes me control the way I eat. Because if I'm eating, like I said, fast or heavy stuff in the morning, I feel like physically, mentally, I can probably be a little foggy. But with the tea, it kind of helps me clear my mind, start the day off right. And I'm not talking about coffee either. Coffee has other properties that could cause anxiety and all these other things. So I try to avoid coffee, but I would say that it's a journey. So as a woman, we have hormones and we have our menstrual cycle every month. It's a little difficult for us because we kind of have to go through these changes naturally. And I would say that right now I can eat, let's say, I made him some food. This is like chickpeas and butternut squash stuff. Right now in my happy mood, let's say, quote unquote, it can totally be fine. But tomorrow if I'm anxious and like nervous or something, it might not go well in my stomach. So again, it's a journey. It's a whole process with
trial and error.
Yes.
I know, Jordan, you said you was trying to eat clean for like what, 2 days, a month, 3 weeks?
Yeah, I was, and it's hard. It's really hard, I feel like. And it's especially because my problem is that I don't know what I should digest for me to feel good, like a certain time, certain things to eat at certain times. And I've heard about intermittent fasting too. My friend does it and he said it helps a lot. But he still eats like he'll do what you said, go from 6 to 11, and then that time that you can eat, he eats bad.
He's tearing up everything.
Yeah. But apparently it still helps you lose weight, but it's probably still not as effective if you did it the way she was
That's
talking
true.
about.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll fast. The most I fasted for it was 9 days straight.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you do long-term fasts?
I haven't. I wanted to do like a juice fast at some point. I haven't. So
Yeah, just strictly water.
not because I don't. Not that I can't. I just haven't. I would like to. I would still like to.
Yeah. For me, when I was fasting, it almost made me just have mental clarity, just really raise a sharp focus. And my wife would be like, "Man, you're not even upset. You're not even mad." I'm like, I mean, you're supposed to be mad if you don't eat.
Well, think about food has so I believe that everything has energy. So food has energy. If you're ingesting something, I mean, it's just everything has energy. So like I said, that's why when you're eating the food, almost pray for it, ask for it to nourish you, because you want it to not give you a foggy mind. You want it to give you that nourishment where it helps you active throughout the day. And fasting is also biblical, I would say, because you talked about biblical stuff. It's biblical in a sense of it allows you to connect to the source. And that's another thing I highlight is spirituality and the way you eat kind of goes hand in hand. You kind of need to have both in order to be able to also be able to kind of have a healthier lifestyle in general. Because it's not just food, because I eat clean all the time, but like I said, something might mess me up and have me out anxious tomorrow. And then I'm eating clean, but I'm still anxious. You know what I mean? So it's kind of every day you kind of have to go and wake up with some sort of intention of this is what I'm going to eat. This is what I'm going to do. I have this intention. It's going to nourish me. I'm going to get this done, whatever. And I'm also big on being structured with a schedule. So that's another way that I would say for students to kind of have it in their schedule to eat a certain way at a certain time, and kind of make sure you're dedicating time, like I said, to eating or to making food. And just for me, having a schedule just helps me maintain a healthier lifestyle, because I know what I'm doing. It eliminates a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry, and it just keeps me focused in general. So.
If there's one thing we need in 2023, it's less anxiety. There's so much going on.
Again, shout out for Feed Spot for ranking us the top 25 podcasts in the world, ranking us the top 25 podcasts in the United States. Shout out Feed Spot. We salute you. Thanks for our ranking. To all our fans in our 85 countries. Appreciate that. Before we jump into you being an author, where can you recommend? Do you recommend anywhere that you can recommend for people to search or look up certain things as far as foods that you follow, or any Instagram pages, or anywhere you can go, periodicals or newspaper clippings, or any magazines that you can recommend to kind of?
I mean, there's a lot of people I follow on Instagram. If I can give out my Instagram, it's Alfa Workspace, ALFA Workspace is all together. Honestly, look through the people I follow, and I follow different alkaline pages. People that have their own farms that are in Ghana. There's a man that he just teaches you how to make food out of nothing, basically, or out of the things he has in his garden. There's just so many pages I can't really highlight.
So which one is that? I'm gonna follow that one.
I don't remember his name.
Send that to me.
Yeah. There's another one called Turn Up Vegan. He's really cool. He works a lot with mushrooms, and mushrooms are considered superfoods. Dr. Sebi highlights mushrooms a lot. I use a lot of lion's mane, which are for your brain activity. Lion's mane they say you should eat lion's mane if you have Alzheimer's. It helps you because it's a brain thing. So anything with mushrooms in it.
Right. I know one fruit that he talked about is a soursop.
Soursop, yeah. Supposedly helps with cancer, or it helps avoid cancer.
It's a great tasting fruit too. It's fire.
Or I would say research how to, because we don't live in a tropical area, so we don't have tropical foods here. You can always buy food. You can have it delivered here so that we can. I mean, technically, you're not supposed to eat out of season. We have specific foods that we're meant to eat during the fall season and winter season, especially when it's cold in these areas. I can't give you specific names right now, but I would say probably ordering food outside of this area, like Johnson City, can help you get different types of foods in general, because we're very limited in the stores as well. The things that they have, the grocery stores, are just almost meant to only be minimal, because there's so many fruits and vegetables that that are not in our stores that exist out there that have been nourishing. So.
You getting excited about going plant-based, Jay?
I'm intrigued.
I
I'm
mean,
very intrigued,
That's the
actually.
point.
I mean, that's the point.
That's the point.
And that's what the podcast is
Yes.
for, to kind of open a can of worms, just kind of give people a glimpse of what could be,
Yes.
what they're missing out on.
That's what I like to talk about. It's more educating people. Like, I don't like to just feed people. I really don't. I like to talk to you about
It made her sick to give you that food, Craig. when
No,
you
because we have a private conversation. We kind of have a different.
Yeah, we vibe.
Yeah. But I think for me, it's so.
Did it make you sick?
No.
I'm just joking.
He's like, he's gonna eat this. He's probably gonna pair it with some ribs.
She was mad as heck when she was making it.
No, I cook with love. I really do. Like, if I'm in a bad mood, I do not cook. Because like I said, that goes into the food.
It'll burn it.
And not burn. Like, that food will, like, I don't know if you, like, back in the day, my mom used to cook for my dad, and I feel she would cook mad at him. And he'll just feel mad after, and everybody would just be mad in the house.
Can't even enjoy the meal. Everybody's just mad.
Because, again, if you're cooking in an angry, like, way, like, I believe it travels to the food. But
I mean, I believe in energy. I believe in, chakras and energy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's real, man.
Yeah.
So you're intrigued. I mean, I've always been intrigued. And what about you, A?
No, I love it. It's easy for me to say that I wanted to do this, but it's just so overwhelming, the information. Like to hear you speak. I mean, you're at the source. Well, not at the source. You're an almanac of all the different things that you have to do to. But I guess it's been a journey for you, right? Just like barbering, just like us starting to cut hair. When we first started cutting hair, it's like, what is all this stuff? Like, how do you do these things? But I guess when you just start here and there, and like that's kind of like was my biggest question was like, if I was to get into the book, right? Is that the book?
Yeah. So I have a book called Trust Your Gut, an Alkaline and Ayurveda compilation cookbook.
Okay.
It's here.
I got the cookbook too.
He has the cookbook. It's, for me, I tell people, it's not just a recipe book, it's a guideline.
Oh.
I don't really write anything in it. It's really just recipes. Because for me this is a guideline. I'm not trying to convert you. That's your journey. I like what I do. I love what I eat. If you're interested, this is kind of a way to start it. Again, I go based on 3 philosophies. Alkaline, which is Dr. Sebi. Alkaline and raw food, which would be Dr. Arisatam, and Ayurveda, which is Ayurveda science, which is the sister science of yoga, which is Hinduism. So that's a whole different thing, a whole different philosophy. So it's based on 3 different philosophies that I think make sense to me, and I've kind of merged them together.
Break down the 3 of them. So alkaline, break that down. So
alkalinity is that, this is Dr. Sebi's philosophy. Bless his soul, he's such a smart man. But he believed in the pH level of your body. So alkalinity will be anything above 7 on the scale is considered alkaline. Anything below that, he believed that it can or could create some sort of disease in your body because you're acidic. That's why coffee is very acidic. Certain things are very acidic, and then if you have too much acid in your body, then he believed that
produce mucus.
It could produce mucus,
which harbors disease.
It just kind of like creates a disease of some sort. So that's Dr. Sebi's.
It's like a breeding ground for sickness. Yes. I remember this thing about my dad. My dad was really bad. When my dad got sick, he would always hawk loogies. But I remember him always saying that that's the sickness in your body, getting that mucus out. And then when Dr. CB said that, when I heard that, like it rang bells in my head, because I was like, I remember my dad saying all the time, like that's where the sickness was, which was. And then I heard his teachings, and I was like, and that's one thing that really interests me in it to begin with. So.
But like even like when you eat clean, right? Now, true story. I fasted for like 7 days, ate real clean. After that, for like about a month, and all my joint pains was gone.
I believe that. That's the thing too. People feel like
my elbow, my ankles, my knees was just feeling good.
Yeah, like people think that I started in 2016. The first month was really, really hard because again, my body was used to certain types of eating, and it's almost like my body was in shock. And then I had to relearn how to cook, basically, which is kind of like a baby. Like that's what I tell people. If you're trying to go on this journey of alkalinity or trying to do raw vegan like Dr. Aris does, or the Ayurveda way, I guess, you have to treat your body as like if you were a newborn, meaning you have to introduce certain food. First, you got to flush it out, meaning you got to detox. That's why the whole bowel movement stuff is important. Fasting to detox is important. Juice fastings are important. because I feel like you can flush yourself out first. It doesn't mean you're gonna be skinny, but it just means you're flushing all this toxic.
Why you look at me
stuff.
like?
I'm not. We're there. But because you're also interested.
No, I am, and I you know, it's been a journey. I mean, I probably lost like 80 pounds. I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you. We make eye contact and everything. I'm just saying, but no, I do appreciate it, and I've genuinely, because I mean, I exercise, I fast, like I fast multiple day fast, like I fast. Like I've intermittent fast.
It's a journey.
And I've been fasting before any speaking engagements I have. I've had a ton of speaking engagements, and I feel like my mind's just sharper. So like it's definitely something that I need to prioritize. And unfortunately, especially in African Americans, meat ingestion, it's just not good for us. Like it just doesn't rock with our bodies.
I would say hip hop wise, Prodigy, I believe, talks about that exactly, how Black people are not meant to eat meat specifically. This is hip hop. Y'all like hip hop? Go listen. I would say
I like country.
Listen to people that you connect with culturally, maybe like Dr. Sebi, Black, whatever. Like I love that he's from Honduras because I connected to that, you know. Yep. But to finish what I was saying, detoxing the body and then reintroducing foods, meaning eliminating fried foods for sure. Sorry, chicken. But eliminating, you can start slow, which is kind of like a baby. When you give baby food, when they start eating, you give them like, let's say sweet potato in the beginning, like for the full week to see how they react to it.
No more chitlins, Jordan.
I don't even know what that is.
Pig intestines.
Oh no.
I knew you would like that.
I hated chitlins.
I've never had chitlins.
My dad used to get them all the time.
He said,
so like you think that like eating something consistently for a little bit to see how your body reacts to it is a good way to start.
Yeah, for sure. And then starchy foods, again, another doctor, not him, the other one, Dr. Sebi, he believed in starchy foods. So no potato, no rice, all that has starch, which creates mucus, which is what causes what he believed was diseases. So these are little things that I believe in. I really do believe in it.
I even seen what he said, this was my favorite fruits, pineapples. So
man-made, yeah, probably.
It's like, what?
Sweet potatoes are man-made, you know.
The bananas in the stores are they're huge. I mean, think about it. Like
anything
even the tomatoes
without seeds, yeah.
Anything without seeds are probably been modified.
No tomato. No pineapples.
Certain. I mean, again, this is your own journey. You kind of go through the rabbit hole if you want to, but I also felt that way, like very limited. But in the book also I put like, which is a mix of Dr. Sebi's nutritional list plus some Ayurveda stuff that I put in the cookbook just to give you a guideline of what to go buy at the stores. And certain things are not locally, like lion's mane is not locally. You can grow your own lion's mane. That's another thing. You can like save money and then grow it at your house.
They sell it across the street right here.
The Earth Fair, but they're small. They're very expensive. I wouldn't. I don't buy
Okay.
it.
You're not ripping up face.
Limes?
Huh?
You said limes?
Lion's mane.
Oh, lion's mane.
It's a mushroom.
What about sea moss? I know it's a popular.
Oh, sea moss. Yes, I love sea moss. I personally haven't had sea moss in a while. I used to buy it from certain websites online, which is a sea weed. Let's say it comes from the sea. There's artificial ones that are apparently pole grown, and they look different. They just have like this crystallization going on, which means that they're not originally.
CB wouldn't rock with that.
No, you would be mad. But sea moss, it's kind of hard because sea moss became so popular. So a lot of people just make it or buy it or do it in like pills or something.
And sometimes you don't even know if you're getting the correct thing.
No, I mean, I do know, like I know, but I mean, again, there's information online. I can't tell you specifically where, but definitely do your research. There's so much information out here. But sea moss has 92 minerals out of 102, and this gives you a lot of energy. Like if you took a spoonful of just plain sea moss in the beginning of the day, you have natural energy. And it's crazy how much energy you really have. So, in a sense, you could typically just fast just with some sea moss pills.
That's what I
think. Pills. No, not pills. I'm saying like that's
the real stuff.
It's kind of hard to buy sea moss right now because a lot of people have pole grown it. So, if it's in a pill form for me or powder, I wouldn't trust it. Like I personally wouldn't trust it because I don't know where it's really coming from.
Well, the girl that was on I think it was TLC. She went to Dr. CB to get treated, and he made her fast I think like 30 some. It was a long time. It was longer than I ever imagined. You know, like biblical Jesus time, like Jesus fast. And they asked her. She did an interview, and she said that she had been taking sea moss. That was the only thing that she had consumed during her fast time, and it's supposed to cover a wide variety of the minerals that your body needs to survive every day.
That's big. Wow. This has been an enlightening.
This is fun.
What do you think, Jay?
It's crazy. It's over. I feel like
If you say it's crazy one more time,
it is crazy. It's crazy. And I feel like the information, like Emma said, I feel like it'd be overwhelming. Like trying to figure out. That's always been my problem. I'm like, what do I need to buy? I just don't know what I need to buy, and I just. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, I might actually buy that. I might actually buy that.
I'll sign it for you.
Okay.
Okay.
No, but it's I mean, it's a guideline. Like, you know how many, it took me 3 years to write. Like, I've been sitting on recipes for 3 years, and I finally was like, why am I sitting on this? Let me not bank on it, but like, let me put it out there.
Now get you some bread.
Get you some bread.
But it was, again.
So all those recipes are your original recipes that you created?
Yeah. So, I mean, of course, I got inspired from different recipes, different, like, probably other chefs, things that Dr. Sabi talks about, Aris Latham, excuse me. It's inspired by so many things that I can't tell you where I got the idea from. You know, like certain things I probably did create, certain things that's just inspired from other recipes. But it's, again, you're scared. It's okay. I understand. I'm with you. I support you. But
He said you're scared.
it is a scary, overwhelming thing to do because we're conditioned to believe we are meant to eat a certain way, especially in this particular town.
So if you given some advice, and for someone who is really just not adequate or have information, and they say they want to start tomorrow, they want to go to the grocery store, what are some basic things that they can start with?
Mushrooms, coconut water, legit coconut water, not something that has more than coconut water. It's just literally coconut water. I eat a lot of, I love onions. I don't know why. Kale. Ooh, kale is big on iron, so you can do that. Proteins would be hemp seeds. I put hemp seeds on like my spelt flakes that I made, like oatmeal version of it. Hemp seeds has protein.
A hemp seed. Okay.
Hemp seeds. Excuse me.
Was
Yes, hemp seeds.
Like cannabis.
No.
What are we talking about?
Okay. So
I'm sorry.
At the store, they sell seeds called hemp seeds. I don't know exactly where they come from the plant, obviously, but I don't know why they're at the store. Okay. And hemp was illegal for a while back in it was illegal. It was illegalized back in like late 60s or something because you can make a lot of things with hemp, but they felt like it was too profitable and they just kind of like banned it or something. Yeah. But hemp seeds has protein, kale has iron, mushrooms, superfoods, fruits, definitely stick with some fruits that have seeds. Watermelon right now there's some seeded watermelons out. Mangoes, sadly, the ones here are not the same from like a tropical place, but.
And then a lot of people think too, Wendy, when they hear like plant-based and vegan food, they think it's really expensive.
It's not. If you're smart, it's not. I would say it's a journey. You have to kind of like, I shop at different places because I already know where to go get specific things. It's expensive only if you're buying the vegan labeled stuff, right? Because they are expensive.
Okay.
Last, I know we asked you like a bunch of different foods. Okay. Last one, olive oil. I love olive oil. I cook with everything.
So there's a list of oils that, so if you're cooking with them, it loses their nutritional value. Olive oil is one of them. Olive oil is meant to be not cooked and meaning more like
a dressing.
Yeah.
Kind of Mediterranean.
But there's a whole thing with oils in general. Like seed oils are, they say, bad for us. We're not meant to be consuming oils. There's so many things. It's like it's a bunch of stuff.
It's stuff we don't know.
That even to me, it's like, damn, I shouldn't eat this too. But oils, what I use right now has been avocado oil. It's high in fat, I guess. And when you heat it, it doesn't lose its nutritional value. Like coconut oil, it loses its nutritional value as well. So I would say avocado oil. If you're cooking, or like if you're still frying stuff, I use avocado.
I'll say about putting kale, mushrooms, onions,
some tomatoes.
No, just kale. Like cooking the kale, mushroom, onions together, make it like a salad almost, and then put it on like cauliflower rice was like my idea. That's what I was sitting here thinking.
What I do is just lime, sometimes salt, lime. That's it.
So what's a substitute for like salad? Most people like salad dressing. What's a substitute that they can just put on some salad as a replacement salad?
Lime.
Okay.
Lime, salt, hemp seeds, just gives it a little texture here and there.
And what about, was it chia seeds?
I don't use. So again, these certain things that I don't use just because they're not based on these philosophies that I believe in.
So what is chia seeds? I thought it was like high-end.
I don't know. I don't remember. I used to eat it. I used to do chia pudding, but I don't anymore. I can't give you the information for that. Sorry.
That's cool, man. I mean, the podcast was enlightening. What do you think of the podcast, Jay?
It definitely makes me want to go try, for sure. For at least try. I mean, but
Take a shot.
I'm definitely thinking. I think I want to buy that book.
Oh, thank you.
So,
just kidding.
because I'm curious.
It's a thought-provoking thing to consider eating a different way that we're used to in general. Take your time, I'll say. Don't rush into it. If you're overwhelmed, take a step back and analyze why you're overwhelmed. Definitely, I would say journal too. Like, just write down like your journey through the food. And that sounds corny, but these are your thoughts. It's like your brain is going to play with your stomach. You know, like you're going to get confused and like, I don't want to do this. Why am I doing this? Is this really even worth it? But it's a journey. It's like a process, kind of like learning how to walk, or even when you're planting food on the floor, you don't see the results right away. It's a seed, and you're planting a seed, and you have to water it and let it grow and give it time. So I would say, just take your time.
So again, where can they find this book?
This is through Amazon.
And the title again?
The title is Trust Your Gut, an Alkaline and Ayurveda compilation book. It's on Amazon. There's through my Instagram, Alfa Workspace, which is ALFA, spelled ALFA for a reason. It's meant to be a love for animals. Also based on my son's generation. They're considered the Alpha generation. The whole purpose of the name of it is to kind of leave that for my kids' generation, the knowledge, the education on how to eat better, let's say, especially with the world changing. So through Alfa Workspace, the Instagram page, there's a link tree, which has the link to the Amazon page for the book, link to the website, and just other stuff that I don't remember right now. So.
And how easy it is to read and how many pages?
It's honest. Let me see. Let's look at it. It's about 125 pages. The beginning is really just an introduction, like maybe 10 pages worth of some light reading, honestly. Excuse me. And the rest is just recipes. And there's little pro tips in there, here and there and stuff. So. Yep.
And then you also started this new series, Baking Cakes. How can people reach you with these cakes, and how do you do it? Just like made to order, and
so
like 2 weeks in advance, a month?
Yeah, so with cakes, that was my first passion. I learned that I wanted to be a cake artist back in my junior year in high school. And that was what I went to school for. And they're not alkaline Ayurveda like that. They are vegan, meaning, because again, I believe that it's still a sweet, it's for one occasion type of thing. They're not like the healthiest, but it's still a vegan option that we don't have in this area. Right now I'm taking orders, which you can email me, which is info.alfaworkspace@gmail.com, where you would have to let me know at least a week or two in advance. There's a 50% deposit you have to give me, pay in full before you receive the cake. That's kind of what I'm doing now. I love making cakes. I think decorating them is amazing. And I like keeping them very simple and elegant looking. And it's just, just my style right now.
What are some of the flavors you've made in the past?
My first cake was a lavender lemon cake. It's delicious, lavender seeds. I know Craig here loves my pistachio cake, apparently, that he's going to try soon. And then I make a chocolate blackberry cake, carrot cake. People love carrot cake. So there's an almond hibiscus flavored cake that I make as well.
Hibiscus?
Yes.
Ooh.
So there's a bunch of, I would like to say I'm very creative.
Right.
And through my time of doing all of this, I've kind of developed different flavor combinations and stuff like that. So.
What does that make you feel like? Am I handing out these flavors of cakes?
I mean, I can't have it till my birthday, so like, no point in me getting excited. But they sound dope. They sound amazing.
We can get one together since our birthdays on the same day.
That's true. I forgot about that. We get Jaden.
Yeah.
You can celebrate this podcast episode.
Okay,
with one of your
birthday
cakes.
podcast birthday.
Yeah, I'm down.
When was the first episode?
2020 in the summer.
Need a month.
It was during COVID.
Whatever you say, bitch is gonna text you with the corrections. So.
That's the engineer.
Shout out to Mitch.
Shout out to Mitch, our guy from Maypop Me. And if you want to get on a podcast, if you want to start a podcast, hit my guy Mitch up. He's the man on the ones and twos that make it happen. The host with the most. So what you think about this podcast today, Miss Wendy?
I'm not nervous anymore.
It took a minute though. We got about.
I feel like because it's a legitimate passion and it's inside of me, the knowledge is that they say be ready to stay ready or something like that. Like just always be ready. I think internally I'm just ready. But yeah, I'm always nervous, but I'm always ready.
That's
that
good.
makes sense.
That's good.
You're not nervous, you're not ready.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Those are like good nervousness. Because I don't
So what did you like about it? What did you learn about? What did you learn about yourself? Something new?
about myself
Yeah.
that I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing it for so long, and it's not to sound arrogant or have an ego. It's more like
It's a passion.
It's a passion.
It's a desire that's burning inside.
Yes, it's a desire to educate, specifically Black communities, Hispanics, because those are my people.
Right.
You know, and because we can alter the way that we eat, which can give us a longer life, which then we can really live our life. At people in their 50s, 60s, they want to now start eating clean because they feel like they messed up basically.
Right.
But you don't have to go. I'm not going through that. I will be healthy at 50, 60.
And that's the point for a lot of barbers too. A lot of times barbers, we just don't eat clean. We just eat on the go and eat fast. So the podcast today was just kind of shed light on some things that you can do to help yourself on that journey to better health, better nutrition, better rest, more energy, clarity of the mind, so many other things that we go through on a daily basis. Because a lot of times people don't realize that the food that we eat directly affects your mood, your mindset, the whole vibe about you. And if we can get that on track and taper that in, it can help you accomplish your goals and help you get where you need to go. That's what I think. What y'all bros think over there?
That's crazy. That's what Kurt George is gonna say.
No,
I mean, when y'all squaring up and putting y'all fingers in the sand, I mean, you playing baseball. I mean, I think one who eat the cleanest will win.
I don't think it don't matter what he eats. He's not gonna eat. But
Shots fired.
I mean, I just here recently I haven't been feeling like really great because I know it's what I've been eating.
The barbecue spot down the street.
Yeah, I mean, not even that, but it's just like I know I need to change. I've been thinking about I need to change the way I eat because I know that's what it's affecting me, and I feel like I'm losing my energy. I mean, I'm still obviously doing my thing, but I could be better.
These are some of my favorite episodes because it's a nice change of pace for what we do, and to have an expert on here also makes it awesome because you really, like you said, you can sense the passion and you're very knowledgeable. So thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I was looking forward to it from the first time we spoke. I was like, Wendy, I gotta get you on this podcast. I know you probably thought I was joking, but I was like, we need that change of pace, like Emma said, because we try to diversify our topics to give people a change of pace because we just can't, and still bring around related to barbering because that's what we did today. But I think it's important to bring people from different backgrounds, culturally, emotionally, just on a different level to kind of give our listeners out there something different. Because a lot of times we have issues that all of us are going through and we don't know where to go to. And I hope that listeners out there can come to our podcast and find something that could help them fulfill their day and help them be a better barber, a better person, a better human being. And that's what it's all about for me. Again, Barber College Success. Check us out. Bristol, Virginia, Johnson City, Tennessee. That's where we at. Crown Cutz. Stand up. Earn the crown, baby. Peace.